Welcome to Abruptly Authentic, where today we're dedicated to shining a light on the incredible work of the OutRun Ovarian Cancer Foundation. Join us as we share inspiring stories of strength, perseverance, and hope from survivors, medical experts, and advocates who are all united in the fight against ovarian cancer. We're going to explore the latest advancements in research, discuss the importance of early detection, and highlight the tireless efforts of those working to make a difference. Whether you're a survivor, a loved one, or simply passionate about making the impact, this episode is for you. Together, let's outrun ovarian cancer and pave the way for a brighter future. And I'm so honored to introduce you to Gretchen Knock, the founder of OutRun Ovarian Cancer.
Highways of love. What's it gonna be? Are you gonna stay? Are you gonna go? Highways of...
I'm really glad we're having a conversation. We've been in touch. I recently shared about my journey. I had shared on social about ovarian cancer and the surgeries, but I really didn't get into the nitty grit of my journey until the last episode before this one. So I'm really glad and grateful that you're here to talk about it today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. And I'm so glad that you caught it early.
Oh, gosh. I mean, me too. I definitely had my moments of panic and everything else, and it was still really scary.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like ovarian cancer is just scary.
Yeah.
Are we trained as women to just be so afraid of ovarian cancer? And I think those things are changing. But before we get into all of that, you have started this amazing group called OutRun Ovarian Cancer. Talk about how it originated in the history for you.
So it started in 2003 with a group of women sitting around a kitchen table. A lot of it was out of grief. My aunt had just passed away. My mother had been diagnosed about 5 years prior. And originally when my mother was diagnosed, we thought it was random. And then we quickly found out that her aunt was diagnosed at a young age and died at a young age of a female cancer, which we soon found out that it was ovarian. So what was random quickly became genetic. Once my aunt passed away from it, it was really a call to action. I have 4 daughters and now a granddaughter. And so, but at the time in 2003, there was no diagnostic test except for the CA-125, which is it can be temperamental, and it's really not a great diagnostic tool.
Yeah. A female disease. Mm-hmm. That's so crazy to hear at the time that's how it all began.
Yeah.
Talk about, though, symptoms. The biggest thing I get from what I've put out there about my own journey, and I'm sure you hear tons of this from your group, and thank you for all the tags. I always tag you guys. And I think it's amazing what you do because it's the fear of talking about it. It's almost like this weird, if we say it, that means it's here, but you have to talk. You have to talk, and you have to have knowledge and you have to find out, even if it's scary, you have to find out. So talk about symptoms because they're really vague.
Very
vague. The vaguest thing ever. And mine was I found it on accident, quite honestly.
A lot of women, I would say the majority of women, find it by accident because the men could have the symptoms. I mean, they're bloated,
right?
Just a change in your digestive system. It used to be, not so much anymore, but a lot of times the average age group, 57 to 59, the doctors used to be more dismissive. It's just, menopause, and kind of dismissed women who were searching out what was happening to their bodies, but really not given validation for it. And thank goodness that's over. Doctors are much better trained to listen. I think the information about ovarian cancer is out there, but it's still limited in terms of research dollars.
Why do you think that is?
I was told once it was an orphan disease because the numbers are not there, like breast or heart. I think it's changing. I think the way we are looking at the women's bodies, more holistically, and I do think that information is knowledge, and the more we can get out about not only seeing your doctor, but getting to the correct doctor. That to me is that can be life-changing.
Yeah. You are your biggest advocate.
Yes.
And that is something that I learned on my journey from the amazing team that I work with. And sometimes being your own advocate can seem intimidating when you're come back at with resistance a little bit.
Yes.
And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Is it true, would you say, that a lot of times things are thought of as like, oh, it's probably nothing when it comes to ovarian cancer?
I would say in the past that probably was more true. I think, as I said, it was more dismissed because in defense of the medical community, it is pretty vague.
It's very vague.
And there isn't, you don't have a mammogram. You don't have a PSA test. You don't have a diagnostic test that, a doctor can say, hey, we're going to run this on you. It's not part of a battery of tests that you get when you see your gynecologist.
Yeah. I think a question for a lot of you, maybe you have this, maybe you don't, but what do you ask? You know what I mean? What do you ask about a disease that has these very generalized symptoms? What can you do proactive at your appointment to be on top of the game?
I think first and foremost, you have to be informed of your own genetics. So find out if there is a history of breast cancer, if there is a history of colon cancer. If there are those histories in your background, you need to inform your doctor. Say, look, I had an aunt that died of, I'll take my example. I had an aunt that died of ovarian. My mother had ovarian. Well, of course, I'm going to be red flagged for a genetic test. I'm going to be red flagged for looking for those. But if you're somebody that said, oh, I think my aunt might have had ovarian or might have had, I don't know. Find out that information first, because knowledge is power.
Yes.
And then secondly, ask the doctor, this is my history. What do I do with this? How do I monitor myself? Keep pushing for those answers. Don't be dismissed. Say, look, I am concerned. And if you're concerned, maybe they do a BRCA test on you. Maybe they do a different type of, there's so many more proteins and genomes that they have discovered, blood tests that they've discovered. And so find that. It's finding your history, know your history. And then if you don't have a history, but you're feeling something's off, pursue that and ask the doctor, why am I bleeding? Why I stopped bleeding 10 years ago?
Right.
I think anybody that goes into a doctor and they have any question about something feels off, ask the doctor that. And if you don't like the answer, ask a different doctor.
That's the key.
Be your own advocate.
Yeah. And you have to be comfortable in the relationship.
Right. Yes. But sometimes, you're not. And so that's important too.
Right. It's not easy.
No.
When you're sitting there in a speculum.
Right.
Situation. I mean, let's just be honest.
Right.
As women, it's very vulnerable. It's very awkward. It's all those things that we just do as women.
And we want to be collaborative.
Yeah.
And women are collaborative. And doctors want to be collaborative with you.
Right.
So I think, empower them with the knowledge that you have and keep advocating. So,
Are there telltale, the symptoms are vague. Yes, I know that. But are there certain ones that stand out to you more than others that would be more red flag symptoms?
I would say if you have the constellation of symptoms for more than 2 weeks, meaning bloating, like bloating you've never had before, or the digestive issues, I think that those would be the two red flags for me to get me into a doctor to push. And age-wise, although you were on the young side. But, if you're in your mid-50s, you need to start to take a look at that.
Yeah. And Dr. Michener, I adore him. So what we call my now post visits are really boring visits.
Right.
I call them my no cancer visits.
That's a good visit to have.
And I was somebody that came from a place of being so afraid of medical things, as so many are.
Yes.
And what this has taught me is that that's the silliest fear in the world because, my gosh, if you don't know, you can't fix.
It's a real fear.
Yeah.
But I think the great thing about Cleveland is we have amazing medical care here, world-class medical care. So whether it's at UH, Metro, or the Cleveland Clinic, and they do collaborate, and we do give money to all three, I think it's important that beyond finding a test is getting women to the correct doctor.
I think a lot of this journey is finding the right doctor. I have two amazing doctors in my world that have been everything in this journey. Talk about that.
Yes, you're so fortunate. A lot of people in rural areas or areas that don't have access to the kind of doctors we have, which are known as gynecologists, oncologists. Those are the ones that once you have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, you need to get to. They stage the correct staging and surgery. It's just their wheelhouse. So again, a GYN is wonderful, but you need the specialist, and that's a gynecologist, oncologist.
For those that are in the outlying areas that maybe are watching right now going, oh my gosh, like what would you advise?
Get to Cleveland, Columbus, the major cities, Cincinnati, or find a reference. There may be gynecologists, oncologists accessible to them. I'm not familiar with where, but it's the important thing is get to a gynecologist, oncologist.
Yeah. The relationship that you have with that person, and it starts with your gynecologist.
Absolutely.
And I had that relationship for years,
Right.
And so I think we need to get more and more women, in my just humble opinion, going to the doctor.
Yes.
I do believe that there is this sort of fear that exists. If I don't know, right?
Right.
If I wouldn't have known, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And that's the beauty of the future is that you don't have to feel that way because there are things you can do.
Right.
And
I wanted to get into that. So mine was caught super, super early. I have heard from so many of you where it was not super early and you are thriving.
Yes.
Talk about some of those stories because they are inspiring.
Very. There are women that come to our race year after year. And when they're diagnosed at stage 3C, which is pretty common, it's a later staging, but it's a staging that a lot of these women have overcome.
Yes.
And they change, and it's just amazing where they have come from and where they are now. So it is it's amazing to see the amount of women that keep coming back year after year.
Yeah. How has the group grown over the years?
Wow. Well, I
mean, 2003.
Yeah, it's a long time, and we all had young children. But I was lucky enough to have a group of women that started it with me. We really I handed over the reins to Elena and Jim Morocco, who have done an unbelievable job with this organization. I'm a figurehead. They are the ones that make it work, make it run, do the success is really on their shoulders. And Elena is both a breast and ovarian cancer survivor. So she started out as ovarian and then went to breast, but, caught early in both scenarios. And, what she has done and what Jim, both of them have done is purely amazing. Yeah.
It changes you forever.
It does. Full disclosure, I'm a recent breast cancer survivor.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. Caught early. I had a yearly mammogram. Yeah. So ladies, get your mammograms. And if you have dense breasts, ask for the ultrasound.
I get one every time.
Because a lot of that has not been, another awareness piece is we really do need to get that piece out. So when I did the race last year, I said, well, I don't have the green color. I put on my pink and, we're all survivors here.
Congratulations.
So,
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. I feel very blessed and lucky.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it gives you a whole new perspective on life,
I think so too.
It's hard to get to that place, but it's who you surround yourself with. And that's why I applaud you with what you do with the OutRun Ovarian Cancer group, because those things are needed. Those support groups are needed. And if it's not a group, if it's your family members, if it's your close friends, whatever that is, I could not have gotten through that journey alone.
Right. And I think the beauty of that day for everyone that volunteers or has been a part of it, it's almost mystical, because we see these survivors and you just are in awe of them and their families and the community that surrounds them and the hope that, it brings.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of light shed on this particular one. So whenever we can do that, it feels good.
Listen, if I have anything to do with it, there is going to be plenty of light, sparkle, and
great.
even some glitter and unicorns
We'll
shed
love
on
it.
this. But
we'll take it.
Is it fair to say that ovarian cancer is no longer a death sentence?
I think that is fair to say, yes. I think when caught early and managed and with the right doctors and in the right path, yes.
And
I
even
do.
caught in a stage 3.
Yes.
If managed.
Yes.
And
Managed and taken care of and getting to the right doctors. Yes. I would agree.
Would you have said those same words in 2003?
No, I wouldn't have. But I think they've made incredible advances. I do.
That right there is so much hope.
Yes. And
Right?
that's what people need.
Well, your event is coming up. I want to talk about this. So
Sure.
it's I mean, I feel like it's a ways away, but the wait time's flying. My
Right.
gosh. So August 2nd.
August 2nd.
Let's talk about your event.
August 2nd, we encourage people, and they're teams by name only. They're not, you don't have to have a minimum, but it's fun just that we have these great contests where people are so clever in the way they do their team shirts. So we'll give a prize out for that. We give a prize for the largest team, but it's just walking with people.
Yeah.
Walking with your posse. And so we do that. There's serious runners. I mean, as much as this is a top, Hermes has told us in the past, we are a top 5 run in the city of Cleveland. So it's a beautiful run. You're downtown, you look at the lakefront, you're, running by the stadium, all the jewels of the city you get to look at from the Great Lakes Science Center. You're next to the Rock Hall. You're looking at the skyline of Cleveland. It's always a beautiful day. It really is. We've been very fortunate. It's a great way to start your day. Bring your dogs, bring your kids.
It's totally family
So you could
friendly.
you can do the family fun run, or you can walk it, but the runners love to run. It's a great course to run. So it's a little bit for everybody.
That's
it
great.
gets people downtown, and it's a fun event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see ovarian cancer 10 years from now?
Hopefully gone.
Amen.
No. Where do I see it? I see it being like skin cancer. I see it having a test, and I see it being caught early, and I see it not being the frightening diagnosis or the ugly step daughter that no one talks about. I do believe it will be like skin cancer in 10 years where we can catch it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't make you smile.
Yeah.
And for all of you who have shared stories, thank you so much, because there's so many questions. I feel like we could do another episode just on all the questions.
Right. Oh,
and I'm sure
sure.
you understand because of the group. I'm sure you get a ton of them.
We do. And they're all understandable. But it's women empowering themselves by knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's just being your own advocate.
Yes.
And the men in our lives that are the quiet supporters.
I've learned that it's, not only the physical part of the journey, obviously with the surgeries and what you have to go through with testing and all of that, but it's a mental journey, and it's a spiritual journey.
Yes, it is.
It's all of the above.
Right.
I mean, it changed me forever.
Right. And I have 4 daughters and now a granddaughter. So I was very, very inspired to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're such a good person.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm so proud to know you.
Oh, wow. This is a thrill being here, and so grateful that I'm sorry you are here and on some level, because I don't want you to have it, but
I don't have it anymore.
You're right. You don't have it. You're right.
I kicked his butt out of my body.
That's right. So you're a wonderful advocate for us.
Well, I can't wait to be. I will be at the event.
Great.
I can't wait to be there.
We look forward to seeing you, Holly. We really do.
Thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
And then where could everyone go? I'm assuming, do you take donations?
We do.
How does this work?
OROC.org, and just follow. You can sign up for the race there. It's very up until the day of. It's seamless. If you want to donate through there, you can. We really want you to just get down there and see and hear. We'll have a doctor speaking this year. And each year we usually do, and we focus on the changes and the discoveries and the hope.
Good. It's all about hope.
That's right.
It's one of my favorite words.
Mine too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Highways of love. What's it gonna be?
Get out of my body, Mr. or Mrs. Cancer. You don't belong here.
Highways of love. Right there with you. Are you gonna fight? Are you